Welcome back to the channel, where Turtle Wax had recently released some new products for 2022. These are products from their Hybrid Solutions and Hybrid Solutions Pro lineup. I'm starting with these filthy wheels and tires. It's been some months since they've had a clean, so what better way to start? And this is where I always start a clean of a car, is always with the wheels and tires. I've got two products here to try. The first will be in the red bottle. That is the Hyper Foam Wheel Cleaner and Tire Prep. This is, as the name suggests, a foaming product. It has a foaming nozzle on the bottle, and you don't get any other option to spray it. It's foam or nothing. Obviously, you could transfer this into a different spray bottle if you prefer, but you get this pink foam. And now I don't have an issue with the pink foam at the moment, but you'll see there is a bit of an issue later on. I'm spraying it here onto my knockoff EZ wheel brush. It is looking a little bit worse for wear. It's a bit old. I think it needs replacing with a genuine article. But having a foaming product does mean that the product gets around relatively well and it foams up nicely. You can see the agitation generates even more foam, and it creates a little bit of extra slickness of the product. That means that your brush moves across the surface of your wheels that little bit easier. I've got a bucket of water there, so I'm just spraying a bit more of the cleaner on here. One thing you'll note though is on the wheel face, that foam is falling off. Now that's not ideal, because you want wheel cleaners to be able to last. You want them to stay on the surface of the wheel for as long as possible to allow them to break down any ingrained dirt or stubborn brake dust. And the drawback here is that foam is creating extra weight, and it's pulling the product away from the areas you want it to work in. There was some more stubborn dirt, which is why I'm using this shorter, stiffer bristled wheel brush to get in between the spoked areas. You can see it's generating a nice foam. There's good foam there, but the foam wants to fall off. It wants to fall away. You will note, however, that the foam that was on the tires there has turned brown. So there is some reaction there with the cleaners and some of the contamination within the rubber of the tire. So I'm switching over to a wheel face brush. This is my tried and true Vican wheel face brush. Adding a bit more of the wheel cleaner there. And you can see that makes a big difference. Adding that product to the brush really foams up very nicely, and it makes it very, very slick to use. So I'm not entirely sure how good it would be as a product to allow dwell time, but certainly for going straight onto your wheels without the dwelling, it's actually pretty good. A bit of extra wheel and tire prep there on the SGCB tire scrubbing brush, and that foams up very nicely indeed on the tires, and we're getting good brown foam, so it is managing to pull dirt out of the rubber. And then time for the rinse off. And although I've got my little foibles with it, my little grumps and gripes with it, it's an effective product. I cannot argue with this. I can't argue with that final finish. The tire was clean, the wheel was clean. It did a good job, it was nice to use. I just want that foam to perhaps be a bit thinner so it would last a bit longer, but honestly, it's a genuinely good product. Now here is the Hybrid Solutions Pro All Wheel Cleaner and Iron Decon. Now I know for some of you who follow me already, what I'm doing here is wrong. I am spraying it onto a dry wheel. Technically speaking, you shouldn't, but I wanted to see if this had any of the contactless abilities of cleaning as they tried to claim on the website. I'm still using the wheel cleaner and tire prep hyper foam for the tire here, allowing that to sit in the rubber and to dwell. And what the plan here is now is to allow this iron decon wheel cleaner to dwell for about 5 minutes. It says 2 to 4 minutes, but really depends how bad your wheels are. I left it for nearly 5 minutes, and you can see there's definitely a reaction coming from the wheels. So some of the iron fallout is being broken down. While that's being allowed to dwell, I'm cracking on with the tire sidewall. And then giving everything a rinse off. And the wheel is not clean, so it does need a go over with the hyper foam. You can see I'm doing it backwards here. I'm starting with the wheel face and then moving into the barrel. It's up to you which way around you do it. But I did find that the all wheel cleaner and iron decon product didn't do as good a contactless cleaning as they claim. It did need agitation. It did need a proper cleaner. Working together though, you get some decent results. Now moving on to what the bodywork looks like. Obviously I haven't started on any of this yet. I wanted to show what kind of dirt we're having to deal with. There are rust patches, there's plenty of grime along the lower half of the side of the car there. You can see that from a distance it doesn't look too bad, but getting up close you can definitely see how much grime there is building up in certain areas. Across the back of the car, in around the badges and so on. This car hasn't been washed since probably October or November of 2021. So it's had plenty time to build up some grime. We have had a good amount of rain and snow, so that has been helping to carry away some of the surface dirt over time. But you can see hidden areas of dirt up here beneath the spoiler. This all needs to be taken care of. This is the left side. A bit of overspray from cleaning the wheels and tires there. But you can definitely see there's plenty grime to clean off there. And my car is still looking not too bad at this point. Well, it's filthy right now, but at the time I was filming this video, it was pretty good. Here's something going on with the bonnet. You can see there's been stuff lying on the bonnet. You can see this horrible mottled effect, which is interesting because if you catch it in the wrong light and you look at it from this angle, it looks clean. So angles really are important. Lighting is important. You can see just how grubby that whole front section really is. Not looking great, so we need to give this, first of all, a pre-rinse. Everything gets a soak down, and then an up close and personal pre-rinse where I'm pushing off that stubborn dirt, trying to get as much of it off the car as possible before I go to make contact with it. This is the shampoo Hybrid Solutions Pro Slick and Slide Pure Wash. And if you look at the label there, the 3 icons, it says foam sprayer, hand wash, and synthetic clay. So here it is in my foam sprayer. This is my detailed online snow foam cannon. And what I've mixed in there, as directed by the bottle, is a 10:1 dilution ratio. They state 100 ml to a litre of water. But this bottle only holds a litre, so what I've got in there is 90 milliliters of snow foam to 900 milliliters of water. Spraying it on and allowing it to dwell. This is hopefully going to help break down some of the dirt, the contaminants on there, make it easier to move. And I've got this detailing brush from Wax It Away, which I'm using to go around all the dirt traps, the window rubbers, areas like door handles, anywhere that grit and grime could build up where you won't normally get into them with your normal wash media. And once that's been allowed to dwell for about 5 minutes, I'm rinsing everything off. It was a nice foam, had a decent scent. It was decent and thick. You can obviously make it thinner, but it wasn't overly thick. I do have a different snow foam lance which could make it even thicker again, but that is probably going to be counterintuitive, because then, like the foaming product on the wheel faces, that foam will want to draw off too quickly and not do enough soaking. Now normally I'd go straight to the contact wash. You may be thinking, Specky, why are you foaming the car a second time? Well, first of all, I have a litre of snow foam here to use. That will definitely do 2 or 3 cars. I know I tend to be a bit over eager, a bit heavy handed with my snow foam, just because I like snow foam. What I'm actually using it here for is a shampoo. So it's a pre-wash shampoo for me right now. After spraying it on the car, I also put some into a bucket. The directions on the bottle state 30 milliliters should go into a 10-litre bucket of water. So that's exactly what I've used. That is 1 to 2 capfuls. Well, which one is it? 1 or is it 2? I measured out 30 milliliters. And it made up a good foam. It made up a decent slick shampoo. And then spraying the rest onto the car allowed me to keep that slickness up. Now, I had some left over, so I thought I would spray what was left onto the car before going around and rinsing it off. Now, they claim that this is slick enough that you could use it as a clay lubricant as well, whether you've got a clay bar, a clay mitt, a clay block. It's entirely up to you. You can use this shampoo as your lubricant. Sounds familiar? But the foam did break down quite well when it was being rinsed off the car. It came off well, and it didn't last too long on the driveway. Here you'll see though, there are some marks left on the paint. This is after the contact wash. And this is where I have to point out that I don't think the shampoo is particularly strong or powerful. You can see some of these marks are being easily moved off with just contact from my fingers. So the shampoo is not particularly strong. I would say that it's okay for a maintenance wash if you wash your car relatively regularly and you have some protection on your car. But otherwise, if you are trying to deal with winter grime like I am here, this shampoo doesn't really cut the mustard. Now I decided to treat the tires here because they were all cleaned with the Hyper Foam wheel cleaner. This is the Hybrid Solutions Graphene Acrylic Tire Shine. What graphene is doing in a tire shine, I will never know, but they seem to have it worked out. It's got acrylic in there as well. And this is a very, very runny, slippery, slick product. And it gives incredible shine. Too much shine for me. I am not a fan of super shiny tires. It was very, very wet to go on, and they say you should spray it on and allow it to dwell for about 5 minutes to soak into the rubber. And after that, go over it with a microfiber to pick up any excess. And then if you want even more shine, give it a second application. Well, this is one application where I sprayed it on and then wiped over with my sponge applicator. You can see some of the product there is pooling up within the lettering on the sidewall of the tire. It is really, really, really wet. The spray trigger was also leaking. It was dripping onto my fingers, and my fingers felt like they had some oil or grease on them. It was so slippery. So 3 of the tires I sprayed on and then wiped over with my tire applicator to make sure that there was an even coverage across the tires. 1 tire I sprayed the product purely onto the applicator only and then wiped it over, just to see a difference, because like I said, I don't particularly like this very, very shiny look. That's quite typical of American products. So this is after 5 minutes. I've got this microfiber sponge applicator, which I'm just using to wipe off the excess. And that certainly does take it down a little bit. It tones down the shine. It makes it slightly more neutral. Not much, but slightly. It does take the edge off the shine a little bit. It backs it off a wee bit more. And that's not too bad if you like shiny tires. Still quite showy. This third tire, same situation. They've all had the same amount of time. Wiping over, it's quite sticky feeling. But taking off the excess. And then this tire was applied with the applicator only, and I've decided that it doesn't need a wipe over to pick up excess because there was no excess. And this is the final look of the car. I've decided not to use any protection products because I've already covered those in a previous video. I just wanted to show the wash and the wheels and tires in this video, just to give you guys an idea of how these products work, what kind of performance you can expect from them. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please do go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm. Also, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel so you can see more content like this in the future. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video.